Hi guys, and welcome back to the Alpha channel. My name is Prime M, and today we're on to episode 8 of Catch Me in Greenpoint. If you haven't seen episode 1 through to 7, please go ahead and check those out so you can understand what is about to happen in episode 8. With that being said, let's get into episode 8. This one, I love this episode. So the next day comes, I'm at my crib chilling in the morning. It's about 9 a.m. I said, okay, good. Today is the day we bail this guy out of jail, the baby father, and he and his baby mom will come and see us, and we kill both of them. So I'm there and I'm chilling, and I'm like, James is gonna hit me up later on and let me know what's what with the warehouse, and we can go over there and set it up. So my phone ring, I take a look at it. It's Eraser, Martin, the guy I'm sending to law school. Yeah, so it's Martin calling, so I answer. I said, Eraser, what's up, bro? And he said, boss, I got through with the university. I said, which university is this? He said, Yale University. I said, Yale? Like Yale, that's in Connecticut? He said, yeah, that's the law school I'm getting into. I said, word? That's big, Martin. Tell you what, send me all the information about the payments and stuff, and I'll take care of it. And Martin said, yes, boss, that's what I called you to tell you, because I finished all the application and filled out all the paperwork, and once I pay this money, I can be in class in the next 3 weeks. I said, yo, that's good, Martin, that's good, bro. I said, where would you be staying? Martin said, I will be staying at my aunt's house. She has a place over there in New Haven. I said, okay, that's good, that's good. And then I said, but Martin, what about when you want to sex some of these college girls? What you gonna do, take them to your aunt's place? And Martin laughed and he said, boss, I'm not worried about that. If that should happen, I will figure something out, but staying at my aunt would be good. You know what I mean? It would be like I'm at home. And I said, I understand what you're saying, Martin. All right, send me all the information and everything about the payment, and I'm gonna put you in my calendar right now. So tonight when I go home, I make sure I take care of this so I don't forget. And he's like, okay, boss, thank you. And I said, all right, good luck, Martin. And then I hang up. And then I'm like, yep, that's my boy Eraser. He got into a big prestige university, Yale University. It's a big law school. So, you know, he's going to go there and do his thing. Hopefully he does well and become my lawyer in the future. So I'm there and I'm like, oh shit, let me hit up James and hear what's what. And then I can call Ricky and me and Ricky go meet up with James. So I dial James' number and James answer. And I say, yo, Brody, what time are we meeting up over by Brooklyn Navy Yard? And James said, you can meet me over there in about 2 hours. I'm going over there right now. I said, yo, James, can you bring all the tools with you? The 30 tools that by the warehouse? And James is like, yeah, I could do that. I'm gonna put them in the back of my truck and take them over there. And I said, I bet, do that, bro. Me and Ricky, we're going to meet you over there in 2 hours. And James is like, all right, bet. And we hang up. So I said, shit, let me call Ricky real quick so me and Ricky can organize this up and go meet up James. So I dialed Ricky number right away as soon as I hang up with James. So I hit up Ricky. And I said, yo, bro, what's up? And Ricky was like, you, what up? I'm good. I'm here chilling, smoking a joint. And I said, yo, we have a new place, Ricky, a new warehouse. Ricky's like, word? I said, yeah, it's over by Brooklyn Navy, or James' dad got a place over there, and we're taking it over. And Ricky was like, yo, that's a fact. That sounds good, bro. And I'm like, yo, you buy a crib, I could come pick you up right now because we meeting up with James over there in 2 hours. And Ricky was like, all right, bet, I'm at my crib. Come through. And I'm like, all right, I'll be there. Then I hang up with Ricky. So that's that. I'm gonna meet up with Ricky and James. We have 30 brand new guns. We're gonna sort them out, check what kind of guns and stuff like that. And then, you know, give 696 guys whatever we want to give them. I mean, we don't want to give them too much guns now because one day they might turn on us. So we have to be careful with the guns we give to 696 guys. But with that being said, The progress with them is going good so far. They shoot up over here twice now within a week, so that's good. I just want to know how much people got killed. Ricky, when I meet up with Ricky, I will ask Ricky about that later on. Maybe James, one of them, probably have the information. So after about 45 minutes, I'm on my way to pick up Ricky. So me and him could go meet James over at Brooklyn Navy Yard. So I'm rolling to Ricky's crib. So I pull up on Ricky's block. I saw Ricky by his gate. You know, Ricky up in the passenger seat. I'm like, yo, bro, what's good? And he's like, yo, I'm good. I said, Ricky, your car, is it registered in your name? And Ricky was like, nah, that car is my girlfriend's car. She's in Florida right now, but she want me to have a car. So she just leave that car with me. But I said, Ricky, but what if the cops run it and said the car was over by the warehouse? And Ricky was like, I have a plan set up with my girl. I told her whenever the cops called and said the car did any damage or in any danger, she just said, yo, I don't know anything about that. I leave my car in New York. Maybe someone go and took my car, but I'm not in New York. I'm in Miami. And I was like, oh, that's a good plan, Ricky. So if the cops run it, they will call her and she will say she don't know nothing about it. She's out of state. And Ricky was like, yeah, that's the setup. I'm like, I bet. So I said, she don't call you or anything? And Ricky said, nah, she ain't calling me. So maybe they didn't run the plates or anything. And I'm like, all right, good. So me and Ricky, we pull up at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. We saw James, we saw the warehouse. It's way bigger than the warehouse we had at 10th Avenue. I mean, this one is like 2 times the size, maybe 2.5. So me, James, and Ricky were there when we inside the warehouse. And James said to Ricky, Ricky, how was your experience stuck inside the warehouse yesterday? And Ricky was like, man, it was terrible. I almost gave up twice. After about 3 hours of being in there and the cops wasn't leaving, I started to get hungry and I started feeling weak. And at one point I was like, damn, I should just turn over because of my health problem. But there's something telling me, no, don't give up, just hold out. You guys are doing something, you guys are planning something. And after about 5 hours, I couldn't feel my legs. My head's starting to hurt, you know, my stomach is growing, everything. So I take a seat and I was sitting down. And after 30 minutes of sitting down, I don't know what happened. I just realized James was driving me in the car. That's when I realized that I'm out of the warehouse, when I was in the car leaving with James. And I was like, damn, Ricky. So you were a real soldier. I mean, you held it up. You could have turned over, but you didn't. And Ricky said, bro, I'd rather die before going to jail. And I'm like, yo, that's the motto, that's the fact. And then James said, speaking of dead before going to prison, 6 people got shot last night with that shootout. I said, what? And James said, yeah, 3 died. 1 is in critical condition. I think they said 2 will be okay. The other 2 will be okay. And I'm like, damn, 3 died? James said, yeah. And James said also 6 of my tenants, they emailed me this morning and they are saying next month they are not renewing their lease. They're leaving. And then 10 other family, they called me and said they're leaving within a week. So that's 16 family I have leaving my apartment. And I'm like, really? And James said, yeah, the shooting last night plus the shooting before that, making these people scared and they're not accustomed to all these shooting. So they're thinking community's getting bad, so they're leaving. And I'm like, yo, James, that's good for us. This is what you're gonna do. This is the plan. What you're gonna do, you're gonna get low income family to move into these spaces. Whenever these tenants leave and you're getting new tenants, make sure it's low income family. The reason why we want low income family, because it will work in our favor in what we want to do. If we have nice, decent, high earning family, that's not good for us because they will call the cop on us. But low income family, more than likely, they're toxic families. And that's good for us. We'll have more guys that can join our gang and their families will make sure that they're fine. And you know, once those guys are in the gang, their family will also look up to the gang because their relative is a part of the gang. And these people right now in Greenpoint, their sons or their uncles or, you know what I mean, they will not join the gang. But these low income families, we will get a lot of soldiers. So get these low income family in. And also, James, get them on Section 8. If you could get them on Section 8, that's fine. Assign a lawyer to all of your new tenants that's coming in and make sure they get on Section 8 if they need so. Also, food stamp. If they need food stamp, get them food stamp. So that's the new thing going forward, James. These tenants leave, low income family comes in. And James is like, yo, that's a fact. I understand what you're saying. You're really gonna change this place, aren't you? I said, that's the plan, James. In order to do what we want to do, we have to change Greenpoint. And then I looked at my watch. It's midday. I said, Ricky, here is 30,000. I had 25 grand from yesterday that I was going to give to Joby Charity in Harlem, but they didn't want the money. They said the money is haram. So I have 25 grand plus I put another 5 grand on it. This is 30,000. Take this to the baby mom, give it to her and tell her go bail him out, and then meet us at this address. And we will give her the other 20 grand after I talk to him. And I said, Ricky, she doesn't know you like that, right? And Ricky was like, nah, she doesn't really know me like that. I only saw her and him. She didn't saw me and him together. That's how I know her. I saw him and her. So she doesn't know the relation I have with him. And I said, oh, I see. And I said, but is she still pregnant? Ricky said, the last time when I go talk to her and give her the phone, I gave her the phone through the window. I didn't get to see her belly or anything. But 2 months ago, I saw her with the belly. I said, oh, I understand. But I said, well, if she's pregnant, the verdict is already out. She's going to die. So I gave Ricky the money. So Ricky go take care of her. And me and James were there chilling. And I said to James, did you take the drugs yesterday or anything or this morning? And James was like, yesterday I was about to take it, but when the deputy chief called me and said about guns and the warehouse and they're going over there, I started panicking everything. I forgot about drugs, and then me and you, we started planning and we went on missions and stuff. Like I said, stuff like that keeps me going. And now we're about to kill the baby mom. I'm not really, a fan of that, but we have to do what we have to do, as you said. So I'm all right. I don't need the drug. And after I kill this baby dad, because I'm not killing the baby mom, you will have to take care of that. I think I'll be okay for another couple of days, maybe a week. So I don't have to take the drugs. I'm like, damn, James, you're a weird dude, but I mean, if it's working for you and you don't have to take the drugs, let's see how long we could keep you off that drug. Maybe we make you do stuff from time to time, and maybe 6 months, 8 months from now, your body is accustomed to not taking the drug anymore. Maybe that's what you really need. You just really need some bodies. And James laughed, and James was like, man, you crazy, man. I'm just hoping this girl is not pregnant, man, because I'm like, James, stop worried about that. Let's look at these guns, man. So James, he opened up the bag, and me and him, and we saw the guns. The first one I took out was a Mach 90 rifle. I'm like, shit. And that flashes back memories. I'm like, James, these guns are bringing back memories. Growing up as a kid, bro, I used to see a lot of guns in Jamaica. And James was like, word? I'm like, yeah, since I was a little kid, I used to hear a lot of shots firing outside. Whenever it's close to my house, that's when I'm worried. But it's whenever it's the guys from my area go to the other area and it's like a quarter mile, maybe a half a mile away, the sound of the guns, they sound so beautiful. You get to hear the guns the real way when they're not close to you. Like the AK, you will hear the sound of the AK. You will know that's an AK. You will know that's a Glock. You will know that's an AR. You know that's an M16. You know what I mean? You will hear the different guns from a distance. Because with the wind and everything, they make a different sound. I know fast the bullet, the kinds of bullet, and stuff like that. The direction they fire the shots in. You know what I mean? You can get to hear it. And James was like, what? Since you was a little kid or old? I'm like, since I was a little kid, maybe 5, 6, 7, when I really understand what's going on. I used to hear a lot of gunshots outside. But when I grew up to my teenage years, I get to know the different kinds of guns and the sounds they make, because now I'm outside like every day with my friends playing, and we will see the guns. And the bigger guys will say, this, when you hear this sound, it's this gun. When you hear this sound, it's this gun. So at a tender age, I'm learning the different sounds of the different guns. And James is like, what? Are these legal guns? I'm like, nah, these are illegal guns. And then I like, James, it even gets deeper than that. James said, it gets deeper than that? I said, yeah. When I get to like 18, 19, when I know some of the guys who are firing these guns, and I know the sound of the AK, and I know the guy who's firing the AK, when I hear the sound of the Glock, I know the guy who's firing the Glock. When I hear the sound of the M16, the shotgun, I know the guy who's behind it. So that kind of make things scary for me now, because I'm at home and I'm hearing the AK and I picture the guy who is firing it because I know him. And then I hear the Glock, I picture the guy because I know him. And James is like, word? I said, yeah. I said, James, it even gets deeper than that. James said, it gets deeper than that? I said, yeah. I said, because I know the guys and I know the sound of the gun, if the AK, I should hear the AK go off, and then after that I do not hear the AK, I would think something is wrong with this guy. Maybe he got shot, maybe a gun got jammed and it's not firing, and he's in danger. Whenever I don't hear the Glock, I know the guy who's firing the Glock. Whenever I hear like 3 out of it and then I hear nothing else, I'm like, oh shit, maybe he got shot. So it makes me worried. James is like, what? I said, yeah, it even gets deeper than that, James. James said, what, it gets deeper? I said, yeah, those guys are not my kids. Imagine if you're a mom or a dad and you're inside and you know these different guns because you grew up just like me in the area, and you know all the different type of guns sound, and you know your son is a part of the gang, and you know the type of gun your son fires. If you don't hear his gun throughout the whole shootout, that will make you on the edge of your seat until the dust is clear and the smoke is clear and he comes home and you realize he's still alive. And then I said, James, also the police gun, we know the police gun's different. Like, you will hear a shootout going on, you hear the different guns and you know the guys and all of that. Then you will hear the police come and you hear the police gun go off, and then after that you hear no more shots firing. Because whenever police come, guys normally leave the battlefield. So we know police guns, how it sounds whenever we hear them. And the police, they have rifles on the street, M16s and stuff like that. So we know the police gun whenever we hear it. So it was crazy, it was wild growing up, bro. But hearing all these guns, putting the face to it, you know what I mean, listening to shootout. And you could know when someone gets shot because you will hear the sound of the bullet. Like if you hear boom, you know that shot doesn't connect. But if you hear boom, boom, you know that person got shot. So growing up, we could be able to tell if those bullets were connected or not. It was crazy, man. I'm telling you, it was a wild experience growing up, hearing all these guns, knowing all these guns, the guys behind it, hearing them shooting out. It was something to be, man, these guns right here bring back memories, man. I'm telling you. So after about 2 hours, me and James still at the warehouse sorting out these guns, you know, I'm seeing a lot of different type of guns, you know what I mean? 30 brand new guns. So we're there and then my phone rings with Ricky. I answer it. I said, yep. Ricky said, boss, I gave her the money. She bailed them out and they're on their way over there right now. She should be there in 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, bet. Say less, Ricky. And then I hang up. I said, James, this is what's gonna happen. Whenever she's close, she's gonna call me. Whenever she calls me, you answer it with your little white boy voice. Tell her I'm in a meeting, I'm busy right now, but she should come and the meeting should be over in like 15, 20 minutes, but she can wait. And whenever it comes, we jam him, bring him inside the warehouse. When they come inside the warehouse, we kill them both. James is like, all right, that's a fact. When they pull up, we gonna jam him at gunpoint and bring him in the warehouse. And I'm like, that's a fact. So after about 35 minutes, I saw a car pull up at the warehouse. Both of them came out of the car. I saw the guy and the baby mom. And then the car leave. I looked at the license plate on the car. It wasn't a cab. It was a private car. So I'm like, all right, at least the car dropped them off. So both of them are out there and we pop out on them. When we pop out on them, they look shocked. And we had guns on them and we said, don't move, go inside. And both of them go on the inside. And when they go inside, we lock the door. So we bring them on the inside and me and James, we looked at the girl and she wasn't pregnant. We didn't see any belly or anything. So I looked at James and we had like a shocked look on her face. And then I'm like, I thought you were pregnant. You know, and the guy is there standing normal, baby dad. He's not saying anything because he doesn't know we know that he's snitching on us. But we jam him at gunpoint. He's just there standing looking confused. And the girl is also standing there looking confused. But I asked her, and we still had guns on them, so maybe that's why they weren't freaking out or screaming or crying or talking or anything. But we had them at gunpoint. And then I said to her, so I thought you were pregnant. And she said, yeah, I was pregnant, but a month ago, I had an abortion. And that's why me and my baby dad, we've been arguing over the past month back and forth. And the last we argued and stuff. I called the cops and that's how he was in jail. So I said, you had an abortion? So I looked at James. James looked at me. And I could see like in James' eyes, James is just ready to kill this girl. So I looked at James and I said, James, she's still mine, you know. James was like, nah, bro, both of them are mine now. And I'm like, nah, James, she's mine. Come on now. Remember the argument we had and James was like, that was for the baby. Now there's no baby. She killed the baby. And I'm like, all right, you can have them both. So we put them on the ground to lie down on their face. We tie them up and we're like, James, we can't shoot them because chances are somebody in the Navy might hear bullets in here and the warehouse is not set up as yet. We might have to drown them, but not yet. Just tie them up, put them in the section of the warehouse and just keep them right here for a little bit. We're going to figure out how we're going to drown them inside of here and then get rid of the bodies. And then James said, I bet we're going to drown them. So we tie up their mouths and stuff, tie up their hands, feet, everything. And we have them there in the warehouse. And then me and James are there chilling. And then I text Ricky and tell Ricky we got him, everything is good. I text Ricky right away. And then my phone rings. I looked at it. It says Jennifer. I said, Jennifer. So I answered. I said, hey, Jennifer, how you doing? He said, what, you in the hospital? What happened? You got shot? When? Last night in Greenpoint? It was a shootout and you got shot? The doctors are saying what?